All right, welcome back. Quick news of the day video for all you fine people for today, for Saturday, November the 12th. It's nice and sunny out. It's not as cold as it was earlier in the week. Anyways, the Tampa Bay Lightning have taken Rudolph's Balcers off the hands of the Florida Panthers on waivers. This is one of those interesting things as players with Florida ending up in Tampa and vice versa. We'll see how Balcers does. Decent offensive skill there for Balcers. It's not consistent enough that teams necessarily hold on to him. But for Tampa Bay, we'll see which line he ends up on and how that affects production and whatnot. So Florida making this move, of course, because Ekblad's back. So that's good news for Florida that Ekblad's back. I think they will take that trade-off of losing Balcers to have Ekblad back in the lineup. Shalgren does get the start tonight. I'd expected that he would. They signed Petrozelli, but I would imagine they don't want to necessarily use him in a Saturday night game against the Canucks. A lot of pressure there. If they're going to play him, it'd probably be somewhere else. The one thing is, Murray is set to return maybe on Tuesday. Although keep in mind, he was maybe going to play tonight, and now he's not. So Murray's close enough that we're still having a debate about when he's going to play and against who. But for Shalgren, this means he plays both halves of a back-to-back. I don't think that's as big a deal as we sometimes make it out to be. It didn't used to be a big deal at all. Goaltender just kept playing. But, yeah, so Shalgren gets into tonight's game against Vancouver. Martin starting for the Canucks. There's discussion about whether or not it shows there's a goalie controversy. I don't think there's a controversy. It's just Demko hasn't been great. And, yeah, give Martin a couple of games and see how he does. Maybe giving Demko a little bit of time off will help him with his game. Nico Daws has been called up by the Devils. They're basically declaring this as giving Vanacek the night off. Vanacek, of course, shaken up the other night. This means that Schmid and Daws would be your goaltending tandem while Vanacek's out. It does feel similar to last season in terms of goalie injuries, but it does feel different in that New Jersey's in a very good place. I think they'll be okay if this is just short term. And keep in mind, Vanacek, at the time they picked him up, he was coming off of a bit of a subpar season with Washington, so goalies is unpredictable, as the video I did earlier today discussed, and they really are unpredictable. So coming out of last night's game between Washington and Tampa, and I'm really looking forward to tomorrow's game between Washington and Tampa, Aube-Kubel does have a hearing today. So Aube-Kubel's getting suspended. It's not an in-person hearing, so it's not going to be a long suspension. I'm guessing 2 games. I'm just going on a limb here and saying 2 games. That seems to be just the sweet spot. My guess is that the wheel of the player safety wheel is just stuck on 2 games and they're just not aware of it. So that's my expectation with Aube-Kubel. It could be more, and it was a dangerous hit. It's the kind of head hit they're trying to get out of the game. So we'll see what happens. But coming out of that, too, while the referees were reviewing the play to see whether or not it was 5 minutes, we had a fight between Hathaway and Maroon. They have been fined today. I think the fine was more so because they were fighting during a downtime. Like there shouldn't have been a fight going on. But I understood why Maroon got mad. And I will say at least Hathaway dropped the gloves with him. But I totally get why Maroon and a lot of the Tampa Bay Lightning players were angry in that moment. So maybe going forward for the NHL, when it's a head hit, when it's something they're looking at to see if it should be 5 in a game, close up the benches, get the players off the ice, so you don't end up with the chance of an ugly incident like that when the big screen is showing the players what just happened. Because very often in real time, they may not see it, or maybe one guy sees it. But when you got the replay, everybody sees it, and then they can all get fired up. So we'll see what happens tomorrow in the second half of the back-to-back between these teams. Just showing that rivalries can be born out of almost nowhere between teams you wouldn't necessarily expect there to be a rivalry. But we'll see how it goes. Let me know your thoughts. Sorry, had to let a cat out of the room. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. How many games do you think Aube-Kubel gets? As soon as this goes live, it's probably going to be revealed how much he gets. I'm not going to do a video specifically on that. But hey, let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.